Scandinavian Bob here, hi. As many of you realized by now, NoFap isn't easy. Even if you're not addicted to adult sites and you are just trying to do retention, well, you'll quickly notice that mastering yourself and your urges takes some serious skill. But you know what? That's actually the beauty of it. Now, I know that some guys get offended when I talk like that. When I say things like embrace the suffering or find glory in the pain. And hey, I do understand how that may sound annoying, especially if you keep struggling. But listen, it is not that I think suffering is good in and of itself. No, suffering in and of itself sucks. But the suffering you run into when you're trying to reach your goals gives you the best opportunity to grow stronger that you can ever get. And I'm talking seriously strong here. And so now some of you may go, and why be strong then? Well, because then you can take it when fate keeps loading burdens on you. And believe me, it will. You cannot escape burdens in life. It's like the saying, ask not for lighter burdens, but for broader shoulders. Many years ago, I suffered from really bad social anxiety, and in order to try to reduce it, I forced myself to go out and face my fears. And almost every time, I really suffered because, well, severe anxiety is painful. In fact, it was so painful that I often got depressed because after the exposure, I got thoughts like, why does it have to be like this? I'm a mentally broken man. Why can't I just be normal like everyone else? This is so unfair. Well, you know what? Those thoughts were actually right. It was unfair. Fate had given me a bad hand, but boy did I use it as an excuse to feel sorry for myself. But here's the deal then. Feeling sorry for yourself makes you fragile and weak. And it wasn't until I started to flip everything around that I started to make progress. As a lifelong gym trainer, I obviously knew that pain and suffering in the gym equals stronger muscles. So I started to draw parallels to that when I went out and exposed myself to my anxiety. Yes, I stopped trying to go out and master the anxiety. Instead, I started to go out to deliberately feel the pain. Now this flipped everything around because now I didn't get disappointed when it was painful because hey, my intention was to actually feel the pain. And instead of getting depressed after the exposure, I now actually started to gain a bit of pride. I didn't mentally disqualify my exposure, and that led me to slowly but surely start to become mentally tougher. By changing my mindset, I had flipped everything around, and as a result, my anxiety started to reduce. Deliberately facing the struggle makes you stronger, and it's the same thing with your NoFap urges, because it makes you anti-fragile. Check this out. If you're fragile, it means you break easily when life is testing you. If you're resilient, it means you can withstand quite a lot before breaking, and so that's good. But being anti-fragile is the best of all, because that means that you become stronger when faced with struggle. Yes. And if you're doing NoFap and you're one of those guys going, oh man, I hate my urges so much because they always make me relapse. Well, then you have not yet adapted the anti-fragile mindset. Flip the coin, brother. Just like I did with my social anxiety. Instead of hating your urges, start embracing them, because every single time you get hit by cravings and you choose to not act out, it is literally building your PFC a bit stronger. And if you didn't know it, your PFC is the part of your brain that is responsible for self-control and discipline. Don't you get it? It's not so much giving up pleasuring yourself that makes you the strongest. It is noticing your urges and still not pleasuring yourself that makes you the strongest. So stop hating your urges, because why hate something that brings you the biggest gift of all? The opportunity to grow strong beyond belief. Now, if you're addicted to adult sites, then the addiction cravings do get weaker with time. And I have made a specific video where I share some difficulty timelines that you might be interested in. You can see that video on the screen right here. Just click on that and it'll take you there. This is Scandinavian Bob signing out for today. Consider subscribing for more helpful rebooting content, and as always, I wish you all the best in your journey to become the strongest version of yourself.